Hi there, Alan from Ural Junkie. How's it going? Have you ever had fluid leak out of your diff breather? If you have, let me know in the comments what the circumstances were. Was it hot? On the road? In town? I'm really curious. Best that I can remember, I've had fluid leak out one time. I was chunking miles out on Highway 95 going across Nevada. It was really, really hot. And it was a long day, 12-hour ride. That's the only time I can remember. Ever since then, I have wanted to build my own breather system. I know the new Urals come with one. I haven't seen one, haven't seen pictures of it, but today we're gonna make our own version of it. So let's go do it. So here's what we're gonna need to build the breather. I have some 5/16 internal diameter silicone tubing. I have a little air filter. I have an M8 by 125 fitting with 8mm barb, which is really close to 5/16. I have some little hose clamps, some zip ties, a little bolt for the air filter, and a little bracket that I made out of, looks like 063 aluminum. Hopefully it'll work. Haven't checked it out, kind of a guess. The tools we're gonna need, I have a 10mm wrench, 13mm wrench, little pry bar screwdriver, some pliers, some Allen keys, and some Loctite. So let's start building this guy. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is take off the seat. Okay, let's take out the fender bolt. You can see it kind of in there. And to get to it, we'll use a 13mm wrench and our 5mm Allen key. Put the nut back on so we can keep the screw straight. And we are pretty much ready to go on to the next step, which is out back. Okay, so here's the diff breather. There's a little gap between the differential and the breather cap itself. So we are going to, ooh, there we go. She just popped right off. I'm gonna have to go get another wrench, so hang on here. That looks like it's a 14. Question is, how do we get to it? Try going in the back door here. Well, I can't say that's the worst thing I've ever taken off, but it is, it's pretty close. Let's see what it looks like here. Looks like they sealed it up with Loctite. You can see the little vent. And yeah, wasn't fun to take off. Okay, let's finally start building our system here. Okay, let's do this. Let's put a little bit of Loctite on here for a sealant, kind of like they did. I'm gonna put a little extra on here just for grins. Put the cap back on. And then we are going to stick it in. Now, luckily, This is going to go on a little bit easier than it came off. Just using a 10 millimeter, snug it down nicely. And then we'll clean off any excess. Okay, so let's take this and one of these, kind of squeeze this and stick him on the tube. Then we will stick the tube on here and take our Now I want to make a slight loop around the shock. Just about like that. Okay, so we have the first part routed. Let's put a zip tie on right here. Okay, that looks good. And then we're going to take this and route it up here into the battery box. And I am going to zip tie it to the brake line too. Okay, all right. So now we have the tube up. Let's put the filter on. First thing we're going to do is put the little bracket on like this, and I'm going to use some Loctite for it. So we'll put some Loctite on, screw the lid back down, the bracket on. Okay, so let's put the nut on it and tighten it up. And for this little guy, we are going to need a 4 millimeter Allen and a 10 millimeter wrench. Okay, so let's tighten this up. Okay, looking good. And now, let's kind of decide how long to cut this. So, looks like about right here. And we'll save that for later. Grab the clamp, put it on here. Put this on. Pull the clamp. Okay, great. Okay, so the only thing we need to do now is put on the fender bolt I am not going to use the washer because we have the bracket, which will act like a washer. And I am going to put some Loctite on this. Stick it into the fender and put the nut on. Okay, so that's all tightened up. And looking good. Okay, so we're pretty much done. I'll put links in the description for all the parts I used. The only thing we have to do now is put the seat back on and put the screws in. So, with that, I will see you next time.